All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Ref Room. I am Scott Smokin Silz coming to you from Chicago, along with my man Brad Baumruck, our referee-in-chief locally here. Playoffs are like in the heat of it right now, leading up to all the state championships. It's been an exciting weekend, busy weekend. And if you like overtime and excitement and drama, this is the weekend to have been working. That's all I can say.
Yeah, all the state plans are done, so the pool play is all done.
Yeah.
So Tier 2's all set to go, ready for state. Not this weekend coming up. It's actually a weekend later this year.
Yeah, I mean,
So
how exciting.
It's different this year. It's normally that first weekend of March, but it's pushed a little back, so we'll find out what happens.
Well, I think that worked out pretty well. That Central States went one weekend, and then, Nihil, and then, like, you got the state game and the round robin. It seemed to time out pretty well. So I think that was a pretty cool move. Is that your idea? Maybe.
I wish to take credit for it, but no, not my idea. I mean, I know people have been preaching about it for years, so.
Right. Joe Prescott's checking in. He says, hello to everyone. Hope the end of your seasons were great. Yes, as Brad likes to say, everybody's season comes to an end, and that's how we had the little thumbnail for today, because I know that's one of his favorite sayings. And let's see. What's up there, Brett Straley? Let's go. Hey, Pops. All right. What's going on, Brett? Thought you were going to come join us and bring some videos with you, okay? That's what we were looking forward to. I thought Brett would jump in.
Well, hey, Scott, what's going on with this game? With Brett deletes free time? What does that mean?
With who?
Go put that comment back up there and look what his name is.
Oh, Brett deletes free time. Let's go.
I don't even know what that means.
I don't know. I guess that means you don't have any. Like, you delete your free time by doing something else, right? Hey, I'm going to send a shout out to, one of our favorite viewers that watches all the time, Alan, the scorekeeper from Skokie. I think he's been down and out for a little while. I haven't talked to him, haven't seen any Facebook posts from him. I hope he's doing okay. Had a game there about a weekish ago, and he wasn't there. And I was like, well, we can't play the game if Alan's not there. That's just the way it works. If he's not keeping score, we're not moving forward with this. But so I hope we'll send well wishes out to him. Hope he feels better. Okay. Anyway, with that, what's that?
Yeah, absolutely. He's like an old chair at that building. Like,
absolutely.
Always there.
Yeah, for sure. I'm like, where's Alan? We can't play. Not going to happen. Anyway. So, what kind of excitement did you get into this weekend? That's the question.
I was very lucky. I was at the arenas, and you know what? That I was at, they were all fine. It was nice. I had a quiet weekend. I couldn't believe it. And, everybody was in good spirits. Even the teams that, I was at the Nihil finals on Sunday. And, even the teams that lost, nobody was upset. Everybody was cheering, all the kids coming out. And then they capped off the day. There's going to be a Channel 7 or Channel 5 report. I can't remember which one. They do a Wounded Warriors game every year. So they did that, and they play one of the U18 Nihil teams. And this year it was the Peoria team that did it. I think it was Bloomington last year, because if I remember correctly, I think I refereed the game. But what a great cause, and you know what? They were out there, and the place was packed, and people were having a good time. And, just to see those guys, like the one guy he doesn't have a knee, he doesn't have an ankle, but yet he has a prosthetic that can act like a regular leg. It's amazing. Just every time we get out on the ice and we complain that, our ankle hurts or we have a blister or something, let's just all take that for granted from now on and say, you know what, I think there's way worse. So we still get to enjoy the game, but modern medicine has been able to let them enjoy the game as well too. So it's fun to watch.
Yeah, it is. And they love it. I've seen them out practice. I've actually worked a couple of their games over the course of time, and I saw them about 2 weeks ago practicing at Mount Prospect. They're passionate. They work hard at it, and they have a good time out there. So happy for them. Yeah. And how cool for like all the players from Nihil getting to go down to the United Center and play for their final games. I thought that was pretty slick. I didn't have a chance to go, but just the idea of being able to go down there and do that sort of thing, I mean, that's a once in a lifetime experience. And talking to some of the guys, even the referees that have played recently, the younger guys, they're like, yeah, man, we only got to the round robin portion of like the state tournament one time. It's a big deal. Like, just to make that final 8 is huge. And all those games are so close. They're all, overtime games, 1-goal games, 2-goal games. I mean, it's a dogfight. And anybody can win it. Anybody's in it. And it's just really cool to watch that sort of thing. And, of course, the crowd is going crazy. We know how that works, and rightfully so. I mean, nobody wants to come out of there, with their head down. And there's no reason to come out of there with your head down. If you got there, you are way better off than most. And, if you are lucky enough to overcome some of the challenges it takes to make it through that sort of thing and go beyond, congratulations to you. It's tough. So I don't know how much you want to cover on some of this stuff. I mean, we could talk about some of the games. I mean, we worked some exciting games over the weekend. I had a triple overtime. I worked. I got to line a U16 game, triple overtime, and then into a shootout. Like, wow. And that format for Tier 1 is pretty cool because they play 5-on-5 for 5 minutes. Then they go 4-on-4 for 5 minutes. Then they go 3-on-3 for 5 minutes if they weren't worn out already after the 17-minute periods and then the 2 overtimes. Now you got to try to go 3-on-3 and ultimately into a shootout. Totally different.
The other thing that changed this year too, Scott, was with the Tier 1 was they got their timeout during regulation, and if they went to overtime, they got another timeout.
Yeah.
So
I don't think anybody took advantage of that.
Didn't. I had it happen.
Did you?
In our first game of it.
Okay.
Yeah. They took their timeout. It was the first overtime, and they took it with like a minute left in the overtime because they rest their line and keep their line out there. And they ended up. Did they score? I think they scored on it. To be honest with you, it's already a lot of games ago.
Yeah, I know. Honestly, it's hard to go back. Like, I can't go back from the weekend and remember the games I worked. Like, oh, okay. Yeah, if you remind me, I could probably figure it out. You just have those couple of occasions that kind of stick out. You an overtime game or something. And, it's a great weekend. I saw a lot of people working really hard out there. I got to watch a lot of games as well. And, fun time of the year. I had somebody step up this weekend and fill in with me on a couple games. Did a great job. Definitely, recommended the guy get put into the ADP program. All that good stuff. So, there's just some really cool things that happen that, opportunities present themselves. And for those of you that are out there, be prepared to take advantage of that. You just never know when you're going to get that opportunity. So anyway.
And you know what? I want to, bring up here is, so after those games that this gentleman stepped in and refereed with Scott calls me up and he's like, hey, I need to talk to you. I'm like, what's up? And he goes, what do you know about this guy? And I'm like, well, nothing, to be honest with you. I go, I don't know any.
Poor Brad is breaking up badly there, by the way. You're going to have to start that over, my friend, because you're just goes, freezing.
Oh, my.
Yeah, he just disappeared. Yeah, I know everybody's still having internet problems, believe it or not. We're not. Fortunately, we've been okay. I don't want to jinx it, but, Brad will pop back in here now. Give me 1 second. Yeah. There he goes. Yeah, you froze out completely, so start your story again, my friend.
Let's see if it freezes. Anyways, but so Scott gives me a call and he goes, okay, what do you know about this guy? And I'm like, nothing, to be honest with you. I go, he's there for the playoffs. He was recommended by coaches and, his evals look good. And I go, nothing much other than that. And Scott goes, well, I just want to tell you, he's really, really, really good. He goes, and he had a great attitude. and he wanted to learn stuff, even though
I
we
think
were
I
in
said
playoff
more
shape.
than that, man, because normally I call
I
you
know
and
you
go,
did.
what the heck? Not
Yeah.
that politely. And this time I
That's how
went,
it was.
what the heck? This guy was awesome.
Yeah, that's how it went, But it was one of those things that I was happy to hear from you, and we can get people over to him. I also had a couple other referees that worked with people that gave me a call and let me know that other referees were much better than they expected.
Yeah.
So, this time of year, it's kind of amazing because as the pool gets smaller, the better referees start to work with each other, and then, oops, somebody sees you, and then next thing you know, you're working different games next season, and you're always ready to be working hard. And I think that big thing is to be ready, like you said, Scott.
Yeah.
If that gentleman wasn't there ready,
Yep.
I don't know what we would have done.
Yeah. Well, I got to tell you, so I had a few other people I had 2 rinks that I was taking care of, and I had a few other people in the building, and they were all willing to jump and adjust their schedules to jump in, which kudos to them. And I give them a lot of credit for that flexibility, because one guy was partially addressing it. Yeah, let me finish up. I'll get this going. And then, Brad and I finally had our conversation, and we were able to make some adjustments based on people's schedules so that we didn't screw everybody up, which we probably would have set a few things in motion and gotten it covered, but it would have taken a little bit of adjustment. And, if you're out in these rinks, there's multiple rinks and you got a supervisor there or whatever, folks, they're watching. They see the cream rise to the top, and, they're happy to find some new talent that they're not aware of, and try to, on their behalf, get them into some different positions where they can. So take advantage of that sort of thing. I know a lot of times people are, oh man, I got a supervisor there, or, what's the feedback? No, don't look at it that way. Get somebody without, there's always somebody in the building. I mean, you got coaches that see you that, they talk too. Let's not kid ourselves. Coaches have questions. They like guys that, that are working hard. They, they're like, oh, I haven't seen this guy before. He's actually really good. He did a good job or whatever. That's exactly the type of stuff we want to hear. So, use that to your advantage, folks. That's all I can say. The hotline is ringing now.
Yeah, and I think the one thing is people.
Boy, poor Brad is breaking up big time.
Supervisor being there's a negative thing always. The internet's fine. I checked it with my phone.
Yeah, you're totally frozen coming through here. I don't know what's going on, but anyway, there he goes. Bye. He'll rejoin. Anyway, but yeah, it was a great weekend, and there were some opportunities that presented themselves for certain people, and those that step up, kudos to you. I was blown away. I thought some people did a really great job out there that I don't get to see very often, and again, especially in that environment, it's like Game 7 for everybody. That's where you want to be. It makes it just really, really exciting. And it's a good time, and I don't know why I'm getting these calls all of a sudden, but I'm waiting for Brad to dial back in. He may have to reboot. So that's a little bit. Let's see. That may be him now. It won't let me dial back in. Try again if he's there. Here, I'll just tell him. I'll text him. Try again. Should let him in. Anyway. So yeah. Take advantage of it. That's the big message there. And, getting to finish up your season, we put up here that everybody's season kind of comes to an end at some point. And it's true because, the number of games, they start to whittle down, and, people are getting opportunities. And at some point your season is done. And of course it'll start right back up again because we never stop. We've got our big finals coming up on March 13th at the United Center with all the high school games. We've got the Red Division, which is our top tier teams. We've got our combined schools, and then we've got the girls' high school games. We've got the tier ones coming up. We've got the actual state tournament games. The finals are coming up. So, it starts to squeeze down a little bit, but before you know it, we're back in business, everybody, because we'll start our spring league back up in roughly the first week of April, I believe. That's usually when it kicks off, and that goes till almost Memorial Day. So, a lot of places will be busy, and here comes Brad again. I'm trying to pull it up on my phone, too. Nope, saying signal not connecting. So that may be it for him. We could stay on. If you guys have some questions, you want to pop them in the comments, I'm happy to try to make it happen for you. Oh, wait a second. There's Alan. Alan, we sent a shout out to you, buddy. And he says, ask how Frankie's doing. That's my dog, Frankie, of course, always asks. Thank you. We want to know how you're doing, my friend. Are you doing better? Because I was at Skokie and you were not there. That's not the norm for us. We can't work without you being there running the clock. All right, Arizona Silvio, my man. This is another one of the great scorekeepers. Why are coaches demanding to put full score on board when team is up 9-1 after 2 periods? Please tell all AAA head coach on any team when I'm scorekeeping, I'm law and I will not tolerate telling me how to do my job, being a penalty box supervisor, blah, blah. Okay. Well, Silvio, first of all, some of the state tournament rules are a little different. If it's tier 1, it's a 6-goal difference before you get a running clock. They may want to see the score up there. But I'm going to be honest with you. Put the score up. I don't care what the score is. Put the score up. The score is the score. I'm not a believer in sensitizing it. Okay? You're getting beat by 10 goals. You're getting beat by 10 goals. You don't like getting beat by 10 goals? Play harder. Play harder. That's all I can say. I'm not a fan of just put a 5-goal lead up, even though it's really a 12-goal game at this point. Just not a fan of that. I'm old school. There's days we're going to take a beating. I can remember worst beating I ever got was by the Toronto Marlboros, and it was a big number. And guess what? They put the full number up on the scoreboard. I didn't like it. Meant we better play harder next time. So that's just me. I'm not a fan of, we are keeping score. It's a game. There's a scoreboard. Put the score up. Don't sensitize it. I disagree with that. So, Joe says now I'm breaking up too. So maybe it's a whole internet issue. I don't know. I know we had a lot of issues. Brad said there's some iOS issues since they've had an update. And of course we had the AT&T thing. I don't know who these lines come through. So, if that's the case, are we sounding okay now? Give me a comment, Joe, if you can hear it. Are we breaking up or are we sounding okay? If not, maybe I'll have to reboot my internet before I do my other show because I've got my house music show tonight on Twitch. If you guys like house music, check it out. Twitch.com/hotmix5. All right. Tony says we're good here. Yes, sounds good. Thanks, Justin. Appreciate that, guys. Yeah, so we're okay. But yeah, so Silvio, you do a great job back there. I love what you do. I love your personality and everything. But let's put the score up on the board, especially for it's state tournament. It matters. Don't let somebody think they got a 5-goal lead when they got an 8-goal lead. It's just the way it is. That's me. I'm not the boss, but that's how it should be. If I go to my men's league game and I'm getting beat by 8 goals, guess what? It shows it up on the scoreboard. They don't sensitize the game for us. It's the way it is. All right, thanks for that. Everybody says we sound okay. Alan, some comments back there. Okay, everybody says we're sounding good. So, very good. Appreciate that. So that I hope that answers your question, Silvio. And again, you're the boss. You're running your show, and if tournament director tells you put it up as 5, then go with the tournament director. I got no problem with that. But, coaches want to send a message too. Maybe they want to send a message that, yeah, my team is beating you up pretty good. And you shouldn't take that away from them because they've worked and they've earned that right. If they did it to you, cool. And if you don't like it, work harder, play harder, put a couple pucks in the net. It'll change the scoreboard. But yeah, and it does affect a little differently during this time of the year because there are different goal differentials that are important and people want to know where they stand. They don't want to have to sit there and think, geez, is this a 7-2 game, or are we leading like 9-2? I don't remember. I don't really want to have to do math on the scoreboard. I want to look up and know where we stand, because goal differential may mean a difference for them moving on. And that's something parents may be looking at, and coaches and players going, look, we need a 6-goal differential here in order to advance, because we are tied in all the categories. And that may be one of the reasons why, Silvio. That may be another big part of it. And so they're trying to do math and figure out, where do we fall into this? Because you have teams that can get a tie and advance, and other teams are like, no, we have to win, and we have to win by a margin in order to advance. There's different tiebreakers in that scenario. So I think that's probably where that comes from more than anything. I don't think it's just being mean, like put the score up because we're beating you. I think it's everybody's trying to do calculations and know where they're going with this. So, all right. So that's about it. All I could say is I saw a lot of people doing a really great job over the weekend. If Brad looks like he's not probably coming back on here today with his internet situation, hang on, he's got a couple more. He goes, yeah, he's abandoned the ship. And we're almost at a half hour now. I've got another show to do tonight, so I'm probably going to let you guys go too. We got a lot of people watching today. Thank you for that. Any questions? Happy to try to run through them, or scenarios. Doesn't look like we got any. Did you see my question? No. Let's see, Justin. Give me a second here. Let me go back. Justin says, yes, you said. Okay. Here we go. Justin says, why is holding the puck in the last 2 minutes of the game in one's defensive zone outside the crease not considered a penalty shot? Seems like a tactic a team can use in the last 5 seconds in the game. Okay. We've actually discussed this a little bit, Justin, and it's a really good question. And what we have discussed, as far as if you are in a situation where you've got a team that wants to take the puck to the wall, and they've got 10 seconds left in the game, and if they get it to the wall, that seems to eat up the clock for them instead of keeping the puck moving. Well, the reality of it is the puck is supposed to be kept in motion. So a couple things can come into play. One, if the team takes the puck to the wall and you don't go pursue them, like you stand over there and you're not like up against them trying to free the puck, then the referee is supposed to say, move the puck, or it's going to be a delay of game penalty, which means after 3 seconds, blow the whistle, assess the delay of game penalty. There you go. It's that simple. Now, if the other team decides, well, we're going to try to free the puck up and we're going to put 4 people on the puck and, we're going to battle to get it out of there, well, then, you're kind of eating your own clock up at that point, because there's not much you can do. I'm not sure you're going to free it off the boards in that situation. You're helping the other team make that happen for you. So really, that's what do coaches want to do? Coaches, if you back off, they've got to move the puck or take the delay of game. But if you go in there and you're pushing and you're in there trying to work that puck out of there, they're doing their job, man. They're smart. Like I would do that too, and just putting the puck up against the boards and kicking it along the boards like you're at a free skate. That's not going to work either. You got to get that puck back in motion. So I would say that's probably the answer. I hope that kind of helps you with that. Brad is texting me like crazy. Internet speed test for live streaming. It's probably my 4K camera. Yeah, okay, Brad. Yeah, I'm not eating that much bandwidth. We only got one thing going, my friend. So anyway, anything else? If you guys have questions, pop them up there, and let's scroll down here and see what we got. He means literally. Okay, here we go. Brett says, let's see here. Would make more sense to take a 2-minute penalty and get a face-off in the dying seconds. I think they should change the rule to a penalty shot. I would like to see something that in the last 60 seconds of a game, if you use some sort of delay tactic, that there is maybe a little stiffer penalty for that gives teams a chance to get the puck and work. I don't know if a penalty shot is the answer or not. That is pretty severe. But, hey, you're trying to win a game. I mean, battling for the puck might be the best option. If you guys have a different comment about this or opinion, love to hear it. Pop it in down below, and let's see what happens. Brett says he means literally with the hand. I'm submitting this as a rule change. Last 2 minutes in the defensive zone. Okay. So you're talking about if they cover the puck with the hand? Is that what you're asking? Because if they cover the puck with the hand, it's definitely going to be a penalty. If it's in the crease, it's a penalty shot. We actually had that over the weekend, and we had a wild game. Went to overtime, but we had a waved off. We had a high stick on a goal, waved that off. We had a wraparound with the net off, waved that off. Had a hand pass into the crease that was going to be a goal. Had to stop play for that. Ended up with a penalty in the overtime with about 3 minutes left, and that did that team in finally. So pretty wild weekend. Some wild games as far as that goes. We saw like just about everything you could see. Second off, I respect your opinion, but I would not be in favor of a penalty shot in that situation, Joe says. Yeah, Brian says, rule change proposal. Game continues until penalties on the board expire. Brian, we could be there forever, my friend, because the penalties could just keep coming. You just don't know. Okay, Justin says exactly, Scott, cover the puck with hand. Yeah, if you cover the puck with the hand, it's a delay a game penalty in that situation. Like you're dropping down, you're covering the puck, it's delay a game. If it's in the crease area, it's a penalty shot. Anytime in the crease, player covers the puck with their hand, it's a penalty shot. And it's penalty shot optional, by the way. All penalty shots are optional. You got to go over to the coach or the team and ask, do you want the penalty shot or do you want the penalty? If a team's up by a goal and they're going to get a penalty shot, they may say, no, we'll take the penalty. We'll take the penalty. Let's keep them down, 5-on-4 or 5-on-3, whatever it may be, for 2 minutes. It makes it that much tougher for that team to come after you. Penalty shot, it's like, there's the penalty. If you don't score, we're right back at where we were, equal strength or just down one. So whatever the case may be, that's something that, coaches choose. To be honest with you, in my opinion, over the course of my officiating career, I think in a lot of cases, coaches, you're better off to take the penalty. I think you probably do better on the penalty than you do on the penalty shot. Because remember, the person that's going to be taking the penalty shot is the person that was fouled. So if you have a guy that's coming in on a breakaway and he gets tripped, the person that's going to be taking that penalty shot is the person that was tripped. Well, is that your best stick handling penalty shot guy or girl? That may not be. That may not be their forte. So you might be better off taking the penalty, because then you got 2 minutes to put a power play out there. It's something you practice all the time. Maybe you got a good power play. If you don't have a good power play and you need a goal in a bad situation, yeah. But, remember, it's probably, in most cases, the advantage goes to the goaltender. For those of you that are watching, it's probably a 70% advantage that it goes to the goalkeeper. And, if you got Connor Bedard coming in on you or Patrick Kane, yeah, the odds are probably 50-50 or 60-40. Probably a little better odds for the shooter. But, if it's, Seth Jones coming in taking the penalty, a penalty shot, maybe you want to take the power play. I don't know. Think about that one. Okay, Joe says, third, Justin, I would believe that you would use good judgment if that was a penalty option, but I would not trust many of the 30,000 amateur officials in the United States to do what you do. Okay. All right, Joe. Joe's not confident in all the officials out there. And, let's keep in mind, we have different levels of officials and people are learning. We are not the NHL. It is amateur hockey. And, I had a coach yesterday. He's a hockey director, and he's like, trying to get parents want to know why they can't get the better referees to their games that they're used to seeing inexperienced referees. Well, all the referees have to start somewhere. And so if you're a mite team, you're a squirt team, maybe even a peewee team, the guys are bidding on the people that are bidding on those games, they're trying to get the U18 game, the U16 game, the U14 game. They're not prioritizing taking the U8 game. Why? May not be as fun for them, may not be as challenging, financially not as beneficial. Okay, so you're on the lower end of the totem pole there. If you're a parent wondering why you're not getting the better officials all the time. If you're a AAA organization, you're paying more money for that official, even at U8 or a U10, than somebody that's at a house league level or a tier 2 level. So you have a better chance of probably getting a better official or 2 officials at that game than if you're not. And I hope parents understand that. It's economics. So maybe that's something that they're not aware of, and I'm sure hockey directors or coaches can break that down for them a little bit better. All right, Justin comes back and says, I'm thinking of submitting a rule change proposal about the inconsistency between a goalkeeper shooting the puck outside of the playing surface versus the defenseman. All right, well, Justin, so for those of you that don't know the rule on this, if a goaltender shoots the puck out of the rink, and that means going over the glass, not over the penalty, or not the bench, because the bench doesn't have the glass up on it. So if you shoot the puck and it goes over the boards and it goes into the bench, it's not going to be a penalty. But if the goalie comes out and basically shovels that puck and gets that puck up over the glass, it is a penalty even in USA hockey. Amateur hockey. Yeah, if your 12-year-old goalkeeper puts the puck over the glass, it's a penalty. But yet, if your defenseman fires the puck over the glass, it's not a penalty. In the NHL, it is a penalty. So I know it makes you wonder why maybe it's not a penalty. What's the difference? Some teams are able to use that as a tactic to stall for time or to get out of a bad situation. The faceoff is pretty easy to put up puck in your defensive zone real quickly on a backhand or something and pop it up over the glass, and no penalty. Faceoff's still going to be in your zone, but it may be tougher to get the puck all the way down the ice going through 5 people. If they're forechecking hard, you may not have space, or they're really good at keeping the puck in. Might be tougher to ice the puck. So yeah, maybe there should be a penalty for that. That's what the NHL has, always has. But it'll also be a little bit tougher for some of the officials. You've got newer officials that are trying to work on icing and offsides, and now they're going to be trying to figure out, did they shoot that puck directly out? Did it get tipped? Questions will come into play, and there'll be situations that will be tough. Just like we don't have the no change rule if you ice the puck. If you're playing college or you're in the NHL and you ice the puck, you cannot change. So your players have to stay out there. But it would be very tough for inexperienced referees. It's tough for experienced referees to get over to the bench and keep 5 players on the ice to identify that those are the 5 players that need to be back out there for that faceoff. So typically in a 4-official system, an official is going to go right over one of the bands, the armband. The referees are going to go towards that bench to make sure those players do not change. That's another part of the line change procedure at that level. But if you're working in a 2-official system, it's going to be a lot tougher. A lot tougher. Trust me on that one. All right, let's see what else we got here. Brad, if you're still watching, what is the deadline for USA Hockey rule change proposals? From Joe. I know it's coming up, Joe. I don't know the answer to that. I'm sure he can text you or he'll text me, and I will be happy to put it up. Let's see. He said, it's probably my 4. Okay, we'll give him a second, see if he responds to that. And Karen said, Brad sent Joe an answer date is 3/1. So March 1st, which means 2/29, a.k.a. Leap Day, is safe. All right, you'll be safe if you get it in by Leap Day. So yeah, it's got to be in. And I think they go by Colorado time, just so you know. If you're sending it on 3/1, it's got to be Colorado time, I would imagine. because that's where the office is located. All right. Anybody else got anything else before we go here? I'll give you a couple more seconds. And thank you all for watching today. Really appreciate it. Looking forward to seeing some of you at some of the games moving forward. I know we got a lot of higher officials that watch this channel, and they will be out there working a lot of these games, and I'm sure they're pretty excited because we've had some really great ones. And looking at the brackets for the high schools, we got some great games coming up. I know there's one tonight that finishes off the final 8, so that's the last Sweet 16 game that's going on, and then they'll be into the final 8. So I think Lake Forest is playing tonight, if I'm not mistaken, and I'm not sure who they're playing, but that's the final game for the red division that will determine who the 8 going to Bensonville will be. So, all right. With that being said, thank you all for joining us. We'll be back again next week with more. Hope to see all of you this week. Get out there and skate if you can, and have a great week, everybody. So on behalf of Brad, my referee and chief and partner here, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next Monday. All right. Peace out, everybody. Take care.